In newspaper, we have this one. NP has a FX crisis, a minimum wage stare fresh, costly policy trade-off as FX crisis, minimum wage stare fresh challenge. What will be the fresh challenge to expect from minimum wage?
Of course, when you check page 6, you see the challenge there that's been highlighted.
All right, you find details of that on page 6, as Sunday says. Lagos government issues contravention notice to Ajah property owners. Check page 7 of the Garden newspaper for details on that story.
Let's hope that it go beyond the issuing contravention orders. Yes. You see, Ajah is too far. Let's stay in Akure. You go around, you find some buildings, and then you see the red mark, stop work.
And the next week,
then they write MHPP or something, Ministry of Urban Regional Development or something, and then the work will stop, of course,
temporarily.
And after some time, you find last week I passed there, and then let there be openness. If there was a contravention, it's been rectified. Please put there so that people don't raise doubt on the integrity of what you were doing as far as that was concerned. Now, what is more, when you find the rate at which buildings are collapsing lately, in Plateau, in Abuja, in Lagos, you begin to ask yourself.
It's so unfortunate that of Plateau claimed some lives.
Over 20 lives were lost in Plateau. And so you begin to ask yourself, where are the builders? What happened? What exactly is the issue? Where is the Standards Organization of Nigeria would test the integrity of building materials in this country? So Lagos State government should go beyond issuing contravention notice and then should ensure that any building that really contravenes the building law, the regulations, and all should not be allowed to. So that's just the point. I think the time for sentiment should be over. It's either you do the right thing or you get the boot. So everyone must be serious in dealing with the issues at hand. We cannot afford another incident that will lead to loss of lives of that magnitude. 22 lives were lost in Plateau State.
Some school children.
Of course. In Lagos, you find the same issue of building collapse in Abuja, and I think in Osun also. So these things, we must really gear up to deal with it before it deals with a heavy blow with us.
All right, still on the Guardian newspaper is this one. Democrats shop for new candidate as Biden pulls out of re-election race. Are we still shopping? Okay, maybe there's yet to be a conclusion there. All right, check details of that on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. And we have this one: proposed bill stirs fresh controversy in ICT sector. Where's the proposed bill? Check for details on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper as well. Dangote rejects monopoly claims, halts investment in steel industry. You find the details of that on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And this one: NEL fund to disburse 37 billion naira students loan to 112,000 applicants this week. That must be a sharing one to parents and students alike. And students fake adoption to resist UTME, says JAM. How come? Find details of that on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Without wait from the Guardian newspaper.
From the Guardian, let's check the front page of the New Telegraph newspaper. The front page of the New Telegraph newspaper has, I think, a couple of stories there. Tinubu to African leaders at AU is saying ECOWAS facing threats of terrorism, geopolitical. That's on page 4 of the New Telegraph newspaper. Experts saying FG's failed imports, bleeding nations' external reserves. That's on pages 3 and 4 of the New Telegraph newspaper. Of course, it comes with this rider. Diesel best in Nigeria meets international standard. That's coming from Dangote. Of course, we've taken the story on the U.S. presidential race as Biden withdraws from the race. And then this one is in Nigeria, 2023 election violence. Hold governors, deputies, others to account. Court orders INEC. It's on page 2 of the New Telegraph newspaper. Of course, the rest is an editorial.
Alright, in your house, how the editorial is still on the same, on the Punch newspaper, but also you have this one, inferior fuel. LG demands Dangote's refineries diesel report, orders new test. Right, and find details on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. From the Punch newspaper, let's check some other stories, okay, on the Nation. From the Nation newspaper, we have this one: Clinton, Obama, Hillary, Pelosi, others hail Biden for endorsing Harris. Find details of that on the Nation newspaper, page 4 to be precise. That's where you have details of that story. Alright, ECOWAS raises 38
The Daily Independent newspaper has this story. Okay, maybe one or two. Wound leaking labor dumps fights to reverse electricity tariff hike. You'll find that on page 29. Page 29 of the Daily Independent newspaper has that one. Our refinery is getting repeated orders from abroad. That's come from Dangote. In the previous papers. That's on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. On page 29. Stakeholders see banks losing battle to tame fraud, insider abuse. That's on page 29. That was it on the Daily Independent. Let's go sporting, Charlie.
Alright, from that, let's check Punch Sports. Punch Sports Extra, yes, for the sporting stories this morning. Napoli close to signing Osimhen replacement. Alright, you find that on the Punch Sports Extra this morning. I think that should be on page 6 of Punch Extra. What Joshua must do to beat Du Bois. You find that also on page of the Punch Sports Extra this morning, and so on the Punch Extra you find this one: can Falcons repeat World Cup fate in Paris? Right, there's a big question there. Let's wait and see. And we have this one also: Arsenal closing in on Calafiori. Also, you also have that one on page 5 of the Punch Sports Extra this morning. And with that, that will be all on the newspapers highlights for this morning. We'll take a short break now, and when we return, it will be time for discussion of the day, and it's something you don't really want to miss, so stick around.
ọ̀nà lọ́rọ̀ bá ti rẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ èjú bá jà o ọ̀nà lọ́rọ̀ bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o.
Èràbé má bá jà o má bá bínú ọ̀nà lọ́rọ̀ bá ti rẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ èjú bá jà o ọ̀nà lọ́rọ̀ bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá jà o.
Yes, welcome back from that break, and it's good to know you're still with us on AM Today this morning. I told you when we return from that break, we'll be discussing something that particularly interests students and parents alike. The federal government says it's set to disburse 32 billion naira, to NEFund. Yes, that's as fund for a Nigerian education fund. And to discuss that this morning, we're going to be taking a closer look at the process. Its focus is on NEFund, students' loan, and sensitization. How aware are the supposed beneficiaries of this fund are accessible as the process and all that. And to discuss that with us this morning is Comrade Opeoluwa Awonyifa, is a social commentator and a former NAS executive. So it's nice to have you in the studio this morning. Yes, the students' loan. Let me start by asking you, what's your perception? How did you feel when you heard about the Mr. President saying he was going to execute student loan for students in Nigeria? Is it something? How did it come to you? Let me say.
Well, as a student union leader, at first when we got the news of the loan about a couple of months ago, we were in between. Should we be happy or should we be sad, or what's going on? Because that was when we were in crisis of increasing our school fees across the nation. Whereas we had several protests, several dialogues, several consultation and all. But apparently when the news of the loan came on board, we were like, oh, is this going to be like a slavery? How do we get to repay this loan? And all. Even ASU at the point was against it. We had several meetings that yes, something like this has happened in the past, educational loan, and interest kept piling up, and people were unable to get to pay the loan, and due to accumulation of interest. But yes, after so many engagement, and also the government trying to fix things, getting to know that yes, the lacunas that actually happened at the past scheme, they try to fix it at all. So we got to understand that yes, there is no additional interest. So after so many consultations and consolidation, we're happy with the news that yes, an average Nigerian student that have nothing or zero money to go for his or her tertiary education can actually have a renewed hope, according to Mr. President's agenda, renewed hope. So we want to actually, when we got that news, and after so many things, we are happy now that yes, the loan is a good thing to Nigerian students. Yeah.
How encompassing is the scheme, especially taking into cognizance the diverse nature of the Nigerian students? You find them in various places, government, privately owned institutions, and so on and so forth. How encompassing is this scheme?
Yeah, this scheme in the magnanimous of the federal government is scheduled to take care of all public institutions, be it college of education, be it vocational schools, be it polytechnics, monotechnics, and university, but not for private school. Of course, definitely you have money for you to go to private schools, but definitely the loan is actually for precise indigenous students that that they don't have the strength, they don't have the financial capacity to forge ahead for their education. So apparently it is for public institution, public tertiary institutions.
Have you taken close look at the eligibility criteria for this loan? And do you feel the student body in its entirety is pleased with the calibration of this scheme?
Yes, I would say yes, 100%, because it doesn't come with you making payment before you could get a loan. It doesn't come with any stress at all. So far, you can actually operate on your internet. That you can actually have access to your phone and just go on the portal. I think about 4 or 5 days ago, the president launched the website nelf.gov.ag. You can just go online and just register. So far, you are a Nigerian student, be it you are newly admitted, you have your admission letter, JAM registration number, you have your NIN and BVN. So you can apply for the loan just online, and after approval, the payment will be done in 30 days. So you can actually get a loan for your school fee and also for stipend monthly till you graduate.
Well, the idiosyncrasies, the peculiarity of students. How about if this kind of loan is targeted into direct payments into schools? For instance, you're in FUTA, and then you give the details of your fee and all of that, and it's paid directly to the school and not directly to you. Isn't that better than paying directly to students?
Definitely, that is how the loan scheme has been designed. That's exactly the framework of the loan. Because we understand that yes, you might say you need you need a loan, and perhaps you even paid your school fee. So apparently, if you're applying, because the loan is academic per academic section, so if you applied for loan, it's even depend on your school. For instance, FUTA is paying for undergraduate. Some are paying 70-something thousand. Let's look at Adekunle Ajasin University. Some are paying like maybe 100 plus or 200 plus. So you don't expect them to get the same money. So apparently, the loan you will get is in respect to your school fee, and it will be paid directly to the institution account. So, but if you apply for stipend as well, stipend will pay directly to your account, because definitely you are registering with your BVN as well and your NIN. So you get your stipend, your monthly stipend, in your bank account, and the school also will get the school fee in the institution account.
Does this sufficiently solve or put to rest the students' agitation of hike in their fees, knowing that it might not be all students that apply for this loan that will get it?
All students that applies for this loan will get it.
Will get it
automatically. No.
You're sure of that?
Yes, 100% sure. There is no. Okay. The loan framework has been designed to accommodate as much as possible. Of course, we understand that so many students will not apply for it. So we do cry for yes, there is no money, but yes, people are still doing so many things they want to do. So apparently, so many students are not applying, but people that the real indigent students, they are applying, and definitely they are getting the money. So when you apply for this loan, in 30 days, you'll get your loan, you get your payment, and your school fee will be paid, and everything is fine. So everyone that applies for this loan will get the loan.
Why do you think some students would not want to apply? That's an opportunity for them.
It is a loan. It's not scholarship or grant. So apparently, everybody understand that this is not this is not a loan. This is not a grant. If it is government grant, everyone will apply. Even if you are rich, you will still apply for grant because the woman want is insatiable according to economics. So, but in respect to loan, everybody understand that if you are applying for loan, you will still pay directly or indirectly. And the framework is after you've graduated, upon your NYC, upon the completion of the NYC, after 2 years, you are meant to start payment. And monthly on your salary, you'll be paying 10%. In fact, the framework has made it so easy. Everybody, especially Christians, we understand that if you are getting 100,000 as a Christian, you must pay tithe 10% according to the scripture that they said. So basically, they've made it so simple that yes, you can pay like with ease, just like you are serving God as well. So, but definitely also if you have enough money, perhaps after your NYC and you think maybe you got a grant or you won a lottery or you got someone to give you loan, maybe your inheritance, you got money, you have money to pay, you can pay it once.
Okay, let's look at this in respect to other loans that have been issued in the past in Nigeria, not even to students alone now, grants to SMEs and all that, loans to SMEs and all that, and the federal government crying inability, to retrieve these loans. Do you foresee something like that? And given the spate of unemployment too, virtually half of graduates in Nigeria after NYC do not get tangible employment or even to get to be self-reliant to the extent that they're able to live comfortably, let alone refund a loan.
Government is actually continuous, and if there is a scheme that the former the former administration did and it failed, it actually gives opportunity for the incoming the new government to actually look at the lacunas in that scheme and rectify things. We understand that so there are so many people that they collected some loans in the past and they were all on their own. Government could not even retrace it. But this particular loan, you're registering with your BVN. Everybody that has a bank account in Nigeria can be traced with their BVN. Even these people that are kidnapping, they were using the security agencies are using their BVN to track them. That's why most of them they don't drop account details, because BVN, nobody can move away from BVN. And also you are dropping your NIN. NIN is the number identification number for all Nigerians. So far you are dropping these two, there is nowhere you want to run to. They will get you. You will pay. And also, the loan also, if you think, okay, fine, there is no unemployment rate in the country, if you are self-employed and you are making profits, you can also start paying. And if you are not employed, after 2 years upon completion of NYC, you can sworn an affidavit. That is also one of the framework of the loan. You go sworn an affidavit that yes, you've not gotten a job every 3 months till you get a job. And if you are going to abroad, to hustle, you also write net fund and modus operandi of how you want the modalities of how you want to be making payments for your loan will be designed.
Because I was about asking that would this be a way for the government to check the DACA syndrome?
Yeah, exactly. They understand. They won't say because you got a loan from us, you must stay in this country. You cannot live. No, it's not possible. So apparently, if you have this the possibility of leaving the country, you just write net fund and you design a modus operandi of how you want to be making payment. Even when you are abroad, you can easily make payments. So it's very easy compared to staying here.
As complementary as this scheme would look, many are also concerned about the other issues in the education sector. Talk about infrastructure, talk about the conducive environment and all of that, and especially in the university system. To what extent do you think government still need to go in ensuring that education gets a lead? And then this cliche, falling standard of education becomes a thing of the past.
Yeah, the education structure of this country is actually very weak, and we believe this thing will keep improving day by day. We want to thank ASU. ASU is a very good body that has actually always been fighting not just for their members alone, but also for a good conducive environment for education, better laboratories, and and even improving the staffs, sending them for more trainings and all. So apparently, we want to appeal. How we appeal as a student union leader. I serve as a public relations officer of NAS, and this has always been our agitation. The education should be reformed. We want so many improvements. The subvention given to, brought down to our education, especially the federal and also the state, should be increased so that we can have adequate lecture theaters, we can have laboratories, we can have so many, our libraries can also be, be adequately equipped with, different textbooks and journals and all. So apparently we'll keep appealing to the federal government. Definitely, we are still improving. We believe Nigeria is still developing. So the quota, being assigned to education in this country is very, very limited. It's very, very small. And we want to appeal to our president, President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that in his kind gesture and his magnanimous, he should try to help our educational system and help us improve the dilapidated state.
Okay, I needed us to go specific. Where exactly do you
the
think
dilapidated state
interventions are still needed in the
interventions in the sense that, okay, lecture theaters, let me use FUTA as an example. Okay, yes, thank God for TED Fund, thank God for needs assessment project. These are struggles of ASU that, when you get to FUTA, you see hostels built by needs assessment. We see lecture theaters built by needs assessment. So, what we still need more, we need enough laboratories. We need enough grant even to students that actually want to forge ahead. We need so many things. We need, in fact, even the road. The roads are there. There is no, the roads are degraded day by day, and there is no much funding. Even that's in fact that's why the school fees keep increasing, because when we met with the vice chancellor, she said the amount they are paying for the BDC, it's quite very, very too high, and this is high, they are making this, they are making that. So apparently, and they keep saying the subvention coming from the federal government is actually very limited. So we believe perhaps if the subvention coming from the federal government can be increased, maybe Madam Vice Chancellor will not be using that as an example again. We'll be able to now have we'll be able to have a good forum and say, yes, since your subvention has been increased, there is nothing like, okay, dollar is affecting this, dollar is affecting that, then we can actually come down, bring down the fee.
To whom much is given, it is said that much is also expected. I'd like to know if you're comfortable with the way and manner that some institutions only rely on subventions and not look inwards. In some other climes, we find funded research that also attracts fund for the universities or the polytechnic or whatever it is the name of the institution is called. So isn't it a high time that institutions also thought outside the box and do certain things to also generate revenue internally?
Yeah, this is a very good thing, and I guess I didn't get to speak on that. When FUTA crisis started with increase in school fee, we approached the vice chancellor and we made her realize that yes, there are different IGR in this institution. How come we are still having crisis? Or how come we are talking about subvention? FUTA, for example, I'm using FUTA because I have a FUTA product and I'm still in FUTA. So apparently, FUTA has FUTA water, which is part of their hygiene. They have so many things.
That will amount to advertisement. Okay. Let's just talk generally about things they could do.
Generally, we believe each campus depends on the modality of the school. Perhaps if it's a technology school or if it is a conventional, depends. But definitely, they can do so many things, like block industry, like pure water, like bread, like so many things. That can even get funds, even get support from alumnus, get so many support, and even support the student to get grants for the institution, lecturers going out, so many things that can the institution.
But some of these things you mentioned, some of the schools, some of the institutions are already into different business ventures, and yet they're still complaining about their subventions not being sufficient.
In every system there is always some people that, especially when they're in the charge of the fund, they know how to do. I don't know how to put it. So apparently, when enough fund is coming out, we just realize that we are not seeing where it's going. That's why sometimes we write EFCC that they should please probe a particular institution. When we say that yes, what we realize that this school is getting is way more than the hardship that they are inflicting on our students. So then we can actually write ICPC or EFCC that we need the institution account to be probed and all that.
Has there been cases like that in recent times?
Yes, of course they have.
Yes, where?
I won't want to mention a particular name,
okay.
just to avoid the media attractions. But yes, there are. In fact, when I was a public relations officer, we probed a particular institution, and thereafter, after we were able to now have a roundtable discussion, and the school fee of our students was actually reduced because yes, we were able to realize that yes, all these things we are saying, there is a adequate fund in the school, and you particularly saying school fees more is increased, and you're also doing degree, you are doing remedial, you're doing diploma, you are getting so many funds. So where are those funds going to?
So that brings us to another aspect of this discussion, because looking at it, most of the time when discussions of inadequate funds for tertiary institutions come on board, sometimes the ASU also fight for university autonomy. And do you think that will sufficiently solve the problem? What's your view on universities' autonomy?
Well, universities' autonomy, it is good, but everything is still subject on who is the leader, who is the vice chancellor. When we are talking about local government autonomy, yes, everybody was actually happy that yes, local government autonomy, this, that. But yes, depends on the local government chairman. Everything still boils down to, are these people going to be responsible? Are they going to make judicious use of the funds? We are fighting for this, fighting for that. But the system is so, I don't know how to place it. But we are just praying that God will help us and give us good leaders, that they can actually make judicious use of our resources. This nation is actually blessed with so much resources, but we are living like we are in crisis. So we're only praying that yes, the university autonomy is good, it's a good thing, but yes, we'll still pray that let's hope that the leader, the chancellor, the pro-chancellor, and the vice-chancellor will be able to do justice and good thing with the fundings and the resource. Thank you.
So, you mentioned some things. You said it depends on the leader. You said sometimes there's a way, you're trying to paint a picture of corruption in the system, in short. But sometimes, I say people have a way of getting around the head. So that boils down to corruption. So how can Nigerian students possibly help in the fight against corruption and ensure that upcoming leaders, because the students will leave the level of studentship and one day assume leadership roles, how can they, what do they need to equip themselves with to ensure that Nigeria has better leaders tomorrow?
Okay, thank you. As you can see, they say we are the leaders of tomorrow. But we understand that leaders of tomorrow, and we are still being ruled by my grandpas. God help us. But yes, we understand that our students, they need to be educated, they need to be trained on leadership. And that is why we ensure that we train them on different leadership retreats. We take them to leadership retreats and make them to realize that this is how you should do, this is how you should do. So that it is not just, you are not just going to a tertiary institution to learn mathematics, to learn English. But yes, you're also going to give yourself to be a leader. So apparently, we are supporting our students, and we are also training them in the line of leadership. And don't forget, we are not supporting anything cybercrime. At a particular, maybe like 2 weeks or thereabouts, there are being crises on Twitter and all that. Oh, they want to do protests against CFCC and all and that. NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students, we realized that EFCC is actually following their due guidelines and their core values. We stood, we held a solidarity walk for EFCC, that was in Abuja, to make EFCC realize that we are not against EFCC. We are in total support of EFCC. Come and clean this nation. Our students, yes, they are in all 12 disciples, only Judas. You understand that there will always be some bad eggs. We are EFCC is welcome to clean the universities, the polytechnics and all. So we are in support of anything good in the system. We're not against. We are not trying to cover anyone. So we believe Rome wasn't built in a day. So we believe subsequently things will be better in this country.
Well, my last question for you would be on ensuring a cleanup, as it were, of student body. There has always been this allegation against the student unions that they always choose in the hands of desperate politicians during elections and political engagements. How well is, for instance, NANS, because many people also believe that NANS is just an arm of any political party. How well is NANS washing itself off that kind of an allegation?
Yes, it is true that yes, some bad eggs in the student unionism actually making people to think students are tools in the hand of the government. But believe me, there are so many student union leaders that have high repute and they are focused and they are contesting to represent the interest and welfareism of the Nigerian students. We will support the government when they are doing something good, and when they are also doing something bad, we will go against them. We've had several protests, we've had several solidarity support when it is a good cause. But when it is a bad thing that will affect our students, we will hold protests. We've had so many protests in the past, and we are still doing protests, and we are still agitating our voice. We do consultation. We have 3 C's of Aluta. We will do consultation. If consultation doesn't work, we will do consolidation. When we do that and it doesn't work, we will go back to the street and give them full Aluta Baga, and we call it confrontation. So we have that strength to face any government. We are not tools for any government. If you are doing good, yes, we will praise you because yes, you are doing good. But if you are doing bad, we will also come out and fight you dirty. So I believe subsequently it is not possible for us not to have one particular person that will be bad. But yes, when the majority is of good standard and of good ethics, I believe we are good to go. But you cannot eradicate. You cannot eradicate that there won't be one particular bad person amidst student union leaders. It's not possible.
Oh, okay. As you said, there will always be one bad eggs, but these days it's not uncommon to for people to feel like a cybercrime is almost synonymous with students. And what are you guys doing to self-cleanse, the students' populace?
People just believe cybercrime is actually associated with students. But I can tell you that it is not just students that are involved in cybercrime. Even people even old age people, they are also involved. But people just believe that students with their tech skills and how they are so versatile and all. But even most people don't understand what is cybercrime. Perhaps maybe a student that is involved in digital marketing, that is involved in web design, web development. When they just see you that you're pressing your phone, and even the police, they don't understand what you're doing with digital marketing. Or maybe you're you're doing something that it is on internet, but yes, you're making money. Or maybe you're writing, you are a writer, or maybe you're a data analyst, and you are getting jobs and you're getting payment. So far they can see just dollar that you're getting payment in dollars. They believe that you are a Yahoo boy. So I believe the system needs to be sensitized. What is really cybercrime? Is it that you claiming you are someone else or you're not? Or is it that so far you are just on the internet, you're making money on the internet, you're into cybercrime? So people need to understand that. And also, when we met with EFCC, we told them that most of our students, they don't understand the concept of cybercrime. Come down to our school. come and educate our students. Not just the NYSC years that EFCC is doing. EFCC is doing NYSC when students are already bad from 100 level to their final year that they've graduated. The thing is already in their system. Come down to 100 level when they are doing 100 level orientation. Come and educate them. Come down to their level. Let them see EFCC as like you are also humans. Let them see you that you love them, not just you are just always against them. You don't like students. Anyway, in fact, EFCC, a person that is an EFCC official cannot even wear EFCC jacket and come to school environment. He cannot because people will run away. Oh, EFCC here, but people will see police and they will still walk easily around police. So I believe they should come down to our level, educate the students, and make them realize what is good and what is bad. And also, even people that they are actually involved in cybercrime, they should also have like a rehabilitation something for them. Not just after you charge them to court, they leave the jail, they come back to the society. They will still come back to that thing.
All right, I guess that's something profound you've mentioned there. That people who have been into cybercrimes also need some kind of rehabilitation as well. All right, my dear viewer, we'll be speaking with Comrade Opeoluwa Awoyifa, a social commentator and a former student unionist. As we're talking, we've taken a look at students' loan and sensitization and some other matters actually that borders on students and students' unionism. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. We'll take a short break now. When we return, it will be another phase of discussion. Let's go. Glad to know you're still with us on AM today. As we promised, our next phase of discussion is going to be taking a look at fake news and the possible means of controlling fake news. Fake news and control. That's our focus for this phase of discussion. And to discuss that with us is Mr. Babatope Okeowo is a journalist, and it's nice to have you, sir.
Welcome. Good morning.
Yes, just the
Somebody will tell you where you getting the mister from.
Okay.
Because we don't use a title.
Good to see you again, Baba Toko.
Welcome, my brother.
Good to see you. All right, just this morning on one of the dailies, we have some politicians saying what has been said about me is fake news. In fact, fake news is everywhere. Even on the internet now, we have different news flying around and the people debunking it is fake. But then the impact of fake news could be so damaging sometimes if it's not nipped in the bud. And we keep having this problem. Like Axel said before we started the program, he said, we'll be talking about this fake news. Don't these people listen? Why is it that fake news keep flying around in the society?
Because we have a lot of gullible people around, especially the political class. They are so gullible that sometimes it's nauseating. When you see fake news and you see the purveyors of fake news, you see embrace them. So sometimes it gives me, it gives me headache because you know that definitely this is a fake news, and yet some people will be circulating it, will be broadcasting it, will be looking at it as if this thing is real. So sometimes I just wonder, why are people interested in this news that you know that are fake? Why? When you even see the truth, they will not even believe it. They will just think it's another type of fake. So it gives somebody cause for concern. But the truth of the matter is that it's just too worrisome that we have fake news, we have people purveyors of fake news, we have consumers of fake news. We have three different aspects to it.
Now that there's the convergence of purveyors, consumers, and processors, interesting you talk about how worrisome this thing is. I'd like to know what exactly professional associations and unions are doing. For instance, there is the NUJ, there is the NBC, there is many like that. Now, I do know that some private entities like Dupower is doing something on the information disorder and misnomer in the information circle. What is NUJ doing to curtail this negative trend? What is, for instance, other arms of unions and associations in the information space doing to curtail this terrible trend?
Let me state my bias. My bias is that I'm a member of NUJ, but I'm not in the leadership position of NUJ. And I know that there are a lot of efforts they have made to curtail them. I know Mpan is doing this, but let me just tell you that those people who are purveyors of fake news, they are not members of these recognized associations. They are not. They are just errats, what we call them. And these people are sometimes employed by some people.
At the risk of also sounding biased, I'm not contesting the fact that NUJ, for instance, and some of these professional associations are not party to fake news. What I'm asking you is, there must be a way to sensitize the people, the consumers of information, as to identify which is fake and which is
let me just give you something that happened in about a week or so. I just saw it on the social media space that one guy that anchors a program on national television has been sacked. And you see the people who are circulating this kind of fake news. Even when the station had come out to say, this is not true, somebody can go on holiday. Even because I didn't see Sunday Kolawole on air for about a month, doesn't mean he has been sacked. Yet, some people are still sacked. Even until as of this morning, Some people just say, is it because of what he did some times ago? Is it because he interviewed an opposition figure? As if a radio or television station belongs to a political party. No! Are you getting it? But some people want to make a political gain out of it, and they start to circulate fake news, and they are broadcasting it as if something is just real. So sometimes you know that those who are consuming it they have problem. Are you getting it down? If I know this is a fake, why should I continue to broadcast it? Why should I even just flip through and move on? Because these people cannot be tried. Are you getting it now? Because they don't have editors, no gatekeepers. There is no even gate. Not to talk of gatekeepers. For instance, before anything goes on here as a form of news in this station, the line editor will look at it, the title editor will look at it, and there will be a lot of editors looking at it before it goes on here. But those are the gatekeepers we have in the normal newsroom. But in this situation, they just post anything they like. No gate, so no gatekeepers.
So, looking at it now, isn't it high time then that probably the professional bodies would allow the regulatory regulation of the cyberspace in Nigeria? Remember during the period of Alhaji Lai Mohammed as the Minister for Information, there was this move, to do some regulations on the cyberspace in Nigeria. And then I remember it was broadcasters generally saying, you want to clamp down on us, our freedom of information and all that. But shouldn't there be a roundtable where there will be a peg, a way of handling this purveyors of fake news, especially in the cyberspace?
So let me just tell you something. What is the intention of trying to regulate the social media? What was the intention of the government setting forwarding that bill to the National Assembly? Then maybe they had bashing from the from the populace, and how do we stop this thing going on? And you remember that the then Twitter, now X, was yanked off the media space because it was where people converged to disseminate their ideas. And eventually, there was apportionment between the management and the federal government. So that was the fear of the people, that yes, there should be, once there is a law regulating what to post or something like that, then there should be sanction. That was the fear. But the truth of the matter is that each of these handlers, let me say Facebook, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, and others, they have their own regulations. For instance, you cannot just post obscene videos on this media space. They will tell you something like a violent sin. They will tell you that you must have to do some things before. So, but the only thing that you have to do is that this thing we are talking about is not about videos or images now. We are talking about the spread of fake news. They should do something more to make sure that what goes into their space is processed, and make sure that it is not fake. For instance, when you look at some things, you just is this thing possible? And thank God we are about having an election in Ondo State in a few months now. You will see some results
before the actual voting.
Before the actual voting. It happened in Kogi State. Even the results was out even before the commencement of the votes. And that made the opposition to say that, is it that they have voted in the night that we weren't aware of? So what I'm saying is that there should be regulation. There should be punishment. Let me just say something.
So who is going to do this?
Let me just say something. Thank God we are all journalists here. If somebody deliberately spread fake news and eventually his party wins, I mean, you get my point now. What would the Attorney General do? And it's charged to court. What would the Attorney General do? They just file no protocol that he has no case to answer, or they just fulfill the case and the guy walks free. So the tricks are just two men. Are you getting it? But
the political interplay.
Yes, exactly. Something happened in 2011. No, not 2000. Yes, 2011. Somebody was arrested because he kept voter's card, unused voter's card. He kept it and was about to use it. He was arrested by the police. But after the election, he was charged with court. The Attorney General's office withdrew the case, and that was the end of the case. I'm just giving an instance, one particular example that happened. So if somebody deliberately spread fake news, say for instance about the election results or about the opponent, and is the government in power, would they want to punish their own? So we have a lot of intrigues in this thing. So, but my own fear is that who are the consumers of this fake news? Why do they continue to believe this fake news? Is it deliberate? Is it by accident? Are they having something to achieve or to gain by deliberately spreading fake news? So sometimes I'm afraid.
Okay, well, let me just make, this won't be a question, but I'll be needing your reaction to it. It's a form of assertion. You cited an example the other time of a journalist who anchors a program on the national TV, and then people started saying he's been sacked and all of that. How about if, for instance, a respected union like the NUJ come out and say, look, we have called this person, and then we are affirming that he has not been sacked? Wouldn't that have put it to rest? Or for instance, Mpan comes out and says, look, this particular information is fake, and then all of that goes on. Because there is no monopoly in social media.
Let me even react to that. Okay. So even after that news came out, and there was a popular social media influencer that came out to say, I have seen this person, on vacation. This is the picture. He said it's not me. Succeeded. The news kept flying around.
Thank you very much.
Even when the person himself said,
thank you very much. That is very. I've said it earlier. Maybe you didn't pay attention to it. I said, even when the station came out,
I understand.
To say
talking
that
about
he is not sacked. He has not been sacked. Let me tell you, it's not all media organizations that are members of.
I understand. We're talking about integrity of information here.
No, I'm telling you.
Not about members.
No, let me tell you. You can only defend your members.
This is
listen. You can only defend.
I understand what you're saying, but this
you cannot defend somebody who's not a member.
You're not defending him, are you? It's not a case of defense.
Okay, now.
It's a case of
what else do you? No. What else do you do? It's a situation where even
the person concerned,
I'm not sad. Or even the organization who has said it has not fired him, and yet they are still repeating this. What do you do in that situation?
It has brought us
just
to
even
a
look
point
at
that's very
the
important.
existence of this veteran actor. Do you know how many times he's been said to have been dead?
Olu Jacobs.
Well,
even the family will come out.
Even
this
let me just say
come out with a video
Zik of blessed memory. Even in National Daily, he was said to have died many times before his death, and the man was so infuriated that he said, "Those who spread will die before me." Are you getting this?
So it's many not people, a matter of social media.
It's not about social media alone. We have seen a situation where a national newspaper, a picture of a film, a picture of a film,
A scene from
a film, and posted it on the front page of the paper that yes, the federal government was incapacitated. It took the French soldiers to come to Nigeria and arrested Boko Haram terrorists, and it showed him, although the paper sacked the editor, but it could not recall that particular paper. So the advantage in this thing is that there is punishment for such thing in the
that sounds reactive.
But in the social media space, there is no punishment.
Of course, that sounds reactive. And of course, we must not leave such issue unattended. There must be a reaction to it. But on a larger scale, we've come to a point in this conversation that we must now look at finding a way around this matter. What more can be done? I see your frustration about why is it that people keep consuming authentic news from verified media organizations. I could feel your frustration about that. Honestly speaking, you are right to be so I don't
agitated.
Agitated, yes. So, but what more can we do to curtail this negative trend?
Thank God you're on NUJ platform, and I posted something day before yesterday about the activities of some people that call themselves bloggers, some people that call themselves social media influencers. Honorable Kalawole is in toilets. Honorable Kewo is visiting his mother. This is what you see in social media space.
The paraders news.
Yeah, paraders.
Then you also hear breaking news.
You have breaking news. What is breaking in that somebody has visited his mother? What is breaking in a commissioner representing the governor? What is breaking in it? Yet, you see it headline, you see it being shared around, and we start wondering, is this what they are turning this profession to? The fear is there that if care is not taken, in few years, we will not even be able to. You will not be able to work with your hands up that yes, I am a journalist. That I am a journalist writing stories, informing the people. Because what we have is that we have a lot of charlatans being employed by politicians to make sure they destroy the profession. You know, let me just tell you, it is easy. There are three arms of government. We have the executive, we have the legislative, and we have the judiciary. It is easy to manipulate those people. They know that journalists are difficult because of their independent minds. So what they do is to make sure that they populate the profession with charlatans and they destroy it. So when in a vote, if you have 100 charlatans and you have 5 original, let me say original, and we were to vote, which one will have the day?
It's a game of democracy.
It's a game of democracy. So they are trying to populate the media with charlatans. They want to destroy it. And I understand that because they discovered that national dailies, national televisions, radio stations, and regulated online platform cannot be infiltrated. So they now formed a lot of blogs to make sure that they are so populated that if you check, you discover that if you are not careful, you may not be able to see what we call it, original news, because they have populated it with a lot of fake blogs. Some bloggers now, they will always come during the election. Once the election is over, they are gone. Are you getting it now? And why do they do that? Because they know that the regulated media houses will not be compromised. They will not allow it. There's no how I can come here, or even the governor can come here and make a libelous statement. You yank him off the air because you know that this station has a name, and you don't want to be dragged into the court. Because whatever we are doing here is being recorded. Even NBC is monitoring. Everybody is monitoring. But what is the body regulating the social media? WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and what have you. What is the body that's set up by the federal government? If NCC is just regulating the communication platforms, so when there is an infraction, they can jack off that platform of the media space of Nigeria. Doesn't mean it cannot go elsewhere to operate. So you can see how my fear about the future.
Are you saying it's a helpless situation?
It's not too helpless. If the consumers can decipher between the real and the original. For instance, you are having a wristwatch now. If you know the original, why do you deliberately pick the fake? So why are people deliberately going for the fake when they know the original? That's the question I'm asking. Is it that we are so blindfolded to the extent that we don't even know what is real from what is unreal?
Well, finally from me, I'd like to know what would be the recommendation to people, especially, you see, sometimes I was telling a group of people that before you share that information, verify, know that it's actually true. Don't just share any information. But beyond that, what would be your word of advice to the people as to verifying what sort of information they're consuming so that they are not believing everything hook, line, and sinker?
I will advise the consumers of information to please be perceptive. This is not just believe all they see on the social media or in the media space. That is the number one key. And if they do that, if there is no market, I mean, if there are no buyers, will there be sellers? No. So if those of us or those people that are consuming our products can see that this is a fake, then we know that we are a step ahead. From there, we can take it up from there.
All right. Recently, I think this year, there's the regulation for movie industries and all that. There was an engagement, with the censor board, and there, the representative of the censor board also made the public realize that there is a regulation too for skit makers and all that. So if there could be regulation for skit makers and social media content producers, then will it be out of place for NUJ to call for the regulation of the social media space?
Like I have said, what is the function, the primary function of NUJ?
Sorry, like probably it should also serve as a pressure.
Let me just tell you, what is the primary function of NUJ? To protect the interests of its members.
Okay, just its members, not the profession?
No, the members and the profession.
Okay.
Are you getting it now? This profession is not being tampered with. Just my word. Once you err in the regulated media, which the NUJ represents, there is punishment, there is action. But what we are talking about is where most of the news that we call fake emanate from is not from the regulated media, because there's no punishment for it. There should be punishment for those people who are purveyors,
of fake news.
consumers, and those who are reprocessing it or rebroadcasting it.
Alright, my dear viewer, I think this is how far we'll be going on the show for this morning. We've been having serious engagement with Babatope Okeowo, a journalist, and we've taken a look at focused on online platforms, fake news, and control, how it could be controlled. And it was nice having you on the show this morning.
You're welcome, my sister.
From Sunday.
Well, it's been an engaging engagement. Of course, starting your week on a positive vibe and positive note. Make sure you try again. That was the point we started from this morning. Whatever you did the previous week and it didn't work, positive things, I mean. Try again this week. It could be your week of breakthrough, and I pray it will be. Thank you so much, everyone, for being part of the Art of This Morning. It returns Wednesday morning, God willing. I am Sunday Kolawole. Enjoy the rest of today.
And from me, I would say, before you share that news, please confirm that sure it's correct, it's accurate before sharing, and there is no punishment or for being the last to share, but there could be punishment if you go ahead to share the fake news. Remember, it's damaging to the person and the people involved, and even to the society as well, because you will be misinforming and misleading the people. Have a wonderful week. My name is Folashade Ogidon. Bye for now.